A very, very warm good evening. This is Arnav Chaudhary. You are live on my YouTube channel, Arun. The 14th, 2025. It's another match day in the Indian Super League, which saw Northeast United hold FC Goa to a 1-1 draw. And yeah, looking forward to discussing this game, other things that are happening in Indian football. Hi Zorabar, welcome back. And as always, those of you might be watching this later on. I do realize that quite a few people who do try and watch these lives later on. Yeah, do like, share the video, and if you haven't, please do subscribe to the channel so that we can get more people into our community, that we can continue to grow. We're at 2,151 subscribers. So once more, thanks a lot. Lone Goat, welcome as well. What much to say about a 1-1 draw where Goa looked, to me, the more polished of the two teams, a little bit more mature, maybe is the right word, and should have actually taken the lead in the first session. They didn't, and enabled Northeast United to stay alive and get an equalizer. Mohamed Yasir scoring the goal for Goa. A little controversial because there was a push in the box by Mohamed Yasir against Bema Mer, so the one or the other referee might have given that. While Aladin Ajare played a brilliant through pass, a brilliant through ball, and for Jitin MS, scoring a lovely placed for the Highlanders for them to earn a point. And that's something which is important, I think, for both teams to take the points to share the points on the day. And weirdly, I did pick a picture of today as the preview picture, and he did score at the equalizer. But very, very interesting as that. Zorawa says, do you think Northeast United is AIFF too predictable, entirely relying on Aladdin to create goals? Yes. Yeah, I would agree with you. I mean, I guess that's your thought. Aladdin Ajare has been a revelation for Northeast United as an attacking player. And on the other side, I would say without him, they wouldn't be where they are. Just think about Aladdin Ajare with his goals, replacing, let's say, a Karelis at Mumbai City. Mumbai City most probably would be second, maybe even more Magan. So that's the difference that such a striker makes, who's able to score 14, 15 goals compared to other strikers who are scoring 7, 8. And therefore, I think Northeast United should be very, very happy. Impressed with Jingan, Yasir, Jitin, and Jay. Both should be kept away from national team for a long while. Yeah, Longo, that's the difficult discussion, we need to have as Indian football fans, right? I mean, we were a little over a year ago, we were speaking a lot about Jay Gupta. I think it was the end of 2023. Sorry, end of 2023, early 2024. Still under Ecos T-Much and not performing. But Jitin looked good today, but Jitin didn't look good in the last 3-4 games. Yeah, the question of consistency. That's why I did raise that question yesterday in a short video, asking the question, why are Indian footballers so inconsistent? And that's something, again, we're talking, impressed by those 4 players. I tell you, most probably Sunday keep his standard. And the others, we don't know. Mohamed Yasir has, so That's something. Indian football fans still abusing Trevor Kettle for that handball. Again, first of all, um, if you have a point to criticize, right? But don't abuse, don't get personal. Yeah. But again, maybe I'm asking that perspective. Because I think, people will go down and talk about his reputation and blah blah and whatever. I counter them. Go and ask your clubs what are they doing. I think the East Bengal fans should be asking their club, why did East Bengal not have one chance against Mohun Bagan in 90 minutes? And somewhat stopped their attacking game. That is the question that the East Bengal fans should be asking. Ask their officials, how did they put this squad together? You know? Um, so this is something which is there, right? So therefore, yeah. No, and again, Lone Goat, this is a very good example. Trevor Kettle's statement suits perfectly with his credibility. What credibility do the people have who are questioning him, right? He has come in as the head of refereeing in India, right? He referee in England. He's still better than the best referee in the history of Indian football. Has anyone ever thought about that? Because he has worked in a professional environment, you know. So that is the problem, no? So for me, um, yeah, for me that's something which is there, and um, yeah, what drugs are technically committed when they didn't even decide him, right? He was put in. So what am I gonna say on this? That Indian fans are delulu? I know friends of mine who are amateur referees in the lowest level of German football. Their understanding of the game, it's like with the coaches. The worst coach in Germany most probably is better than the best coach in India. Say that. We need to wake up, and our fans, they understand football, right? They know everything. Brilliant, right? Those are the same fans who wanted India to play the Asian Games. You don't know, you don't understand football. You're part of the problem at the moment. Play a positive role in the growth of Indian football. That would be my question. Of course, it is not. But if you look at the trajectory over the last few years, I would say it has become better. Now, Trevor Kettle praising himself, this, that, everything, to me, that's too much. But FIFA, AFC have helped the AIFF to try and work. You know, so that's the thing. I asked a Northeast United supporter today about the low attendance. He said the stadium situated in a remote place from the city and the transportation at is not good at all. Palash, this is always used. Yeah, that is something which is, if I want to find a reason not to go, I will find reasons, right? Across India. And this is the point that I was saying. If 2000 something plus fans in Guwahati, if the tendencies are as low as they are across the league, the clubs can do a certain thing. I think there's people who say they should do more marketing, they should promote themselves more, this, that, everything. Yes, they could. But the clubs are not earning money, they're losing it. So this is something which needs to be understood. While Kerala Blasters FC fans think Kuru is European level, will he even get a chance to play in the first team of any European 4th to 5th division? I don't think so. It is nah. I don't think. I asked the question, right? We were speaking about it yesterday. I don't even know what his proper position is. He's there, yeah. 2, 3 good situations, more than most others, I would have to say. But I still don't know what his real position is. So therefore, I'm not sure how I should be judging Kuru. And Yeah. So I need you to talk with sit, communicate with the referee, headset connected to live stream at ISL. Okay. Again, first of all, let the Tripura League run properly. I'll be honest. I don't know how many of the people who are listening or know about it. I feel ISL do not care about stadium going supporters. I can say for myself nowadays, I don't often go to a match in YBK. It's too much harassment. Still, Mohun puts 35,000 supporters. Palash, it's on the Bidarnagar police. It's on Mohun Bagan. You know? So to me, that's the thing. There is a blame to be put. Don't put it on the league, right? Put it on the club and put it on the local police, right? They need to work it out. But East Bengal, Mohun Bagan, Mohammedan, are they asking the right questions of the government, of the support? The interesting part with this so-called harassment, doesn't work. Hello, sir. Decision, yeah, that is this. Hey, Shaggy, welcome back. Good to see you after a while. AIFF is using excuses to hide its incompetence or not even having a plan for VR. Shaggy, it's not, again, you guys target the wrong entity. VR implementation, the AIFF could tomorrow say VR is going to, right? But who's going to pay for it? It's the ISL and the clubs. It's not the AIFF. The AIFF will put it, AIFF puts in the manpower. But the system has to be paid for by the ISL / by the clubs. Who knows to spend on it, plus taking care of it most probably is 12, 13, 14 crores a year, which means is every team willing to spend 3.5 crores? Are they willing to spend another crore per year on VR? Ask the clubs a question. You as a BFC, is BFC willing to put in that money at the Kantirava? Ask, the fans of other clubs. Are there teams willing to do that? So, yeah, what should FC Goa goal count? Blue to me, no. I thought that Mohamed Yassir's push was too much, right? So, can a club do a press conference like Israel did today in the Football Nation? Shishant, you shouldn't, but some clubs around the world think of themselves, they're the most important entities that they are, right? Look at FC Barcelona. I mean, if it was not FC Barcelona, they would have been thrown out of La Liga. So, Dortmund, Schalke in Germany have had issues with the teams. They would have been literally thrown out, right? The whole Man City case, but also look at what happened around Chelsea. What's the financial situation around Man United with debt? Was the situation around Liverpool a few years back? They will not do that. They know that. But the point here is that at some stage, the AIFF needs to step in. And I think the AIFF then, and again, they're going to get abuses anyway. So, that's the thing. Dallas Magnus currently offers many club Liverpool final U17 good player, not 22 age. Sri Lankan origin now ties Mangas represents Sri Lanka world class. Yeah, Rushwa, they are working on the things. Sri Lanka is working on a team. They are one of the teams in Asia who are trying to build a team. Football team target 2026. Can India qualify FIFA World Cup in round 3 in future? 2026 is too far off. Tripurasa Vlog TV, to me, the aim of India is in this year. That's more important. Make it to the third round, or in March 2026 it will finish. So that's the aim, to qualify for Asian Cup. 2027 AFC Asian Cup. That's the aim. A third round, yes, we need to get there at some stage, right? If we want to go towards a World Cup ever, that needs to be the aim. But at the moment, it looks tough. Such a corrupted league. Mohun Bagan plays with referees. You don't. Ask yourself the question. Ask yourself the question. Question your own club, your own coach, and your own players first before you do pinter pointing. This paranoia of East Bengal fans is embarrassing. The stature of East Bengal Football Club. It is embarrassing. There are officials who are putting together squads year after year where, I don't know, one is worse than the other. And rather than pointing fingers where, watching the other day the game that Mumbai City won in the first half, there were refereeing mistakes in favor of East Bengal against Mumbai City FC. You want to talk about it? You want to talk about that? Let's talk about that then. This BS, is just a joke. It's just a joke. If you're gonna say that most of the situations where the things didn't go in East Bengal's favor were actually right. That is the joke. Wake up to reality. If you want to, all of you people are wasting, because we're not getting anywhere with this. Because we are already a joke, and you're making it an even bigger joke. And this is to be understood. East Bengal Football Club needs to be something of a proper club. And at the moment, it's a comedy. It is a comedy show. It's leadership. The fans add to that. The fans should be asking the right question. Since 2021, when the fans' protest was literally beaten down by the East Bengal club officials, the fans have not dared to speak against the club. Do that. Don't go elsewhere. Right? Huh? Did you say anything in the Super Cup when you won the Super Cup, when Borja Herrera faked a penalty? Did you say anything on that? Did you criticize that? Did you do anything? Right? Stop this. It's embarrassing. It is a East Bengal. By the way, today in East Bengal preference, they complain about it in sports ministry. It reminds me, La Porta Fumasa always falls. No, that's the problem. That's what I'm saying. Barcelona is another joke. It's becoming. I love Barcelona as a football clubbing. If any other entity in the world had the debt that FC Barcelona, Football Club de Barcelona has, they would be shut down. So, what are we talking about? Right? Sad. Doesn't have the guts to do it. It's not guts, Shumit. It's money. Do you understand that every entity is losing money in Indian football? That how costly VAR is? And do you think that tomorrow, if we install VAR, that there will not be controversies? Do you know what's happening in England? Do you know what's happening? That the Euros most probably were decided because of a refereeing mistake in that game, Spain against Germany. What are you talking about? Do you understand what you're talking? Do you know? Do you have that understanding of what rubbish stuff you're talking? It is getting on my nerves. Corrupted league. Wow, brilliant. One proof. Prove one can have a different discussion. Are you going to talk against East Bengal in the Anwar Ali case? No, you're not. You're going to defend that. The Mohun Bagan fans, they're not us. That's the same thing. That is the real problem. And it's getting on my nerves. We need to stop that. Otherwise, shut down Indian football. Especially the Kolkata clubs have harmed Indian football more than they've helped in the over 100 years history. Sorry to say that. The mistake was in 2018 when we were having the discussion of should we integrate the clubs into the system. I should have actually said no. It would have been most probably better for the Indian Super League. Because what have these clubs brought to Indian football? Inflated salaries. And don't come in with a fan-based thing. After this weekend's derby, no East Bengal fan can have the audacity to say, oh, you know what? We have crores of fans. We have fans everywhere. We are this. No, you're not. You are not. This is not a global derby. I'm very sad to say. I've always defended the derby. But you cannot defend the derby and it's 3 days notice. Guwahati is fans around clubs. It doesn't matter when and where they play. Right? In Indian football, everyone has a reason why he or she is not turning up. Right? And I'm saying that I've gone to matches around the world to support the Indian team. Right? So don't give me this BS. This is this. It's rubbish. It makes no sense. Maybe lead to a rethinking of the management or the aim to avoid the protest. But that's another thing. You need to communicate. There's no will to communicate from the management. And the Manjapara's point, they have a point, yes. If I was part of the management of the Blasters, I don't know, it's difficult. You have to tell the fans, you know what? We have a certain budget. Yes, we try. Not everything is always right, but we're trying. We're not winning. And the Blasters fans are also complicit in this whole thing, what I just played names for, because you made a hero out of Ivan Vukovanovic, who should have been fired the day he walked off the field at the Kantirav. So, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? Yesterday press conference, I watched clearly. We all know how. To me, proof. Money to you don't have a proof. Just make an allegation out of the blue. It is, and Blue asked you the question, yes, explain how the money's been. Is it via UPI? How do the referees get the money? Huh? How do you explain Super Cup? I don't know. Right? East Bengal did a press conference today regarding the penalty decision. They have mentioned that they will go to Sports Minister of India to register a complaint against them. Lovely, let them do that. Let East Bengal officials do that and let FIFA ban us. Right? Does Richard Kettle have a credential to be referee charge? First in the Premier League, the worst referee in the Premier League is going to be better than our Indian referees. Sorry to say that. But hey, I don't think you understand this thing, right? I mean, you will now go on and on and on, defend something which is indefensible. Was it a mistake? Of course it was a mistake, you will say. But I've now spoken to referees, I've shown it footage, and they're saying it's not. And to me, it is a penalty. They're saying, no, it's not. So do I go, this is a problem. People like you are a problem as Indian football fans if you don't want to accept reality. You just make an allegation, you believe what your club officials have done. If you want to talk about corruption, ask your club officials about that. Don't go elsewhere. Start in your own house. Don't throw with stones in a glass house where the glass will come and hit you. These people are deflecting from their own mistakes, from their own failures. What are we talking about? So I've seen CFL where a big club has done to smaller clubs in CFL. Forget referee both the clubs. Shushanto, forget not both the clubs, all the three big Kolkata clubs. I have seen matches in the past where 85th minute, the small are perfect, then the referee has cancelled matches. Listen, that the CFL, that whenever a small club has, tried to win the league, that the big three have denied. So what are we talking about? You want to talk about fixing? Then let's go to Kolkata. Let's talk to the AIFF about it. Jingan is a brave man. Also, what do you think about Yassi's goal? Was there something on the Yeah, but I'm very, very impressed with Sandesh after his comeback from his injury. I had certain doubts because Sandesh has a certain style, um, which is very physical, which is he has to fight for to play his game, and to say the least, I'm very, very impressed with him. I'm very, very impressed the way he's come back, and Sandesh is one of the few players we have in India who has that mentality side in him, right? Sandesh might not be the best footballer. No, not might be. Sandesh is not the best footballer. But he's got his heart in the right place. He's got the mentality which are missing with a lot of Indian footballers these days. East Bengal fans are identical to Bangladesh cricket fans. Instead of blaming their own team's poor performance, they believe in conspiracy theories that interest us is conspiring against them. Yeah. FIFA president voiced for their inclusion. So Football India, ask me a question on this, and I can answer. Were you involved in the process? Do you know the process work? I'm one of the authors of the roadmap of Indian football. Maybe you don't know. Most probably you will not know. And the FIFA president didn't voice anything, said what was needed to be said at the time. You guys don't know. Sorry, it is getting on my nerves that people think they understand football because they've seen something, they've read something. Oh, I watch and I understand. Guys, sorry, might sound hard, but if you have not worked in the system, and I say that to my German friends as well who have in the system, it's different than if you are just a pure fan. You can read everything, you can watch everything, and still you will not understand the nitty-gritty of the game. This is the main thing. And I say the same thing about content creators, right? Everyone can have an opinion, but do they understand really what happens in the background, do this and that? And no, they can't. Because working in the system, working behind the scenes, I've been doing work behind the scenes. I'm still working on things in the background trying to improve Indian football. And it's obstructed. It is obstructed by these officials in Kolkata, be it the clubs or be it the IFA, be it certain people around the right? So that's why as today I did a video on this whole refereeing thing. I feel we need to be, but this season I felt we were better. We've now had a few contentious, too many issues, I think, in a short space of time. That's why that feeling is. But if I want to be honest about things, then I have to say, yes, to me, overall, the refereeing has become better. Is it where it needs to be? No, it's not. But that will not happen, right? We're nowhere near. And I myself have worked towards having a German Bundesliga referee in the ISL for 3 matches a few years back, right? So I know, but he'll come for 3 matches. He actually just yelled and asked him to do an extra, or the AIFF asked him to actually do an extra game. But who's going to talk about it? You know? We are very poor identifying hero and villain who claim I have done so much in football. Murali, 100%. The guy, the biggest villains, right? That's the sad part. Those who are shouting, those who are saying club and all that stuff. Ask them how they're running the club and why they're running the club. Why are you paying over? Again, I'm saying over salaries which are way too high. And that's it. Don't think Shumit's question is clearly out here with an agenda trying to rally up. There's no, Aram, I'm not, he can rile me up, but sometimes you have to get loud and stop. Normally, I would avoid it, but today, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. I'm happy to have a conversation on this. Let him prove one point of the rubbish that he's been saying. He's got no, there's nothing. There is nothing. And I will back to tell East Bengal, why wasn't Vikram Pratap's goal given in that game against East Bengal? Right? If we score a third, we don't have that exciting game. Mumbai City is through. 3 fouls on Chankte not given. You want to talk about things? Let's talk about it. So don't say this East Bengal is only being right. Sir, in deflation of salaries possible, does us have any plans going forward? It is not to me high as first of all. I don't think the FSDL has a plan for that. I think they've given up. If we want to talk about things, they've been able to implement the salary cap in the last 5 years because most teams have been. Or by now, if the salary cap is even there, yeah, that they're in a very difficult position to get that done. Because unless all your financial data has to be shared with the league. Or not just in the MLS, but in American professional sports. In Europe, the clubs have to share their data. They have to do club licensing in that way, right? Here, though, you throw numbers and it's fine, right? Diverting attention of the continuous losses in Derby. Not only in Derby, in general. East Bengal this summer had put together the best squad in the last 5 years in the ISL, right? But they didn't have a bench. And I said that in the summer. East Bengal are better, good challenge with them. They will not get there. And it's proven. Where are those so-called young players that this genius of a Binu George produces, right? If you're going to tell me P. Vishnu is your future, if Shayan Banerjee is your future, then you know that something is wrong, right? These are not the future of Indian football. Sadly, Mohammad Sanans will play one good match and then they'll disappear for 3 matches. Jitin MS scored a brilliant goal today, but he wasn't there in the last 3-4 matches. I go back to the highest level. I have to talk about sadly Lalinzola Chankte, who I rate our best player. Chankte at the moment is a shadow of his own self. So these are the let's talk realities. What have you done in the last 100 years as an East Bengal club? You haven't. That is the problem. I have so many questions. Some of them I'll come to. Northeast United started rebuild in 2023 and 24, and it's become a good side 24-25. It's been rebuilding. And a very good point. And East Bengal should ask itself a question: why did Amanda Tamane, right, decide to go to Northeast United rather than to go to East Bengal? Yeah, supposedly. Yeah. East Bengal should ask itself that one of the best club managers in Indian football didn't want to join you. And that is the concern that an East Bengal should have, is that if the best people in the business, if the best people in the country, then you have a problem. Is East Bengal really suffering for refereeing? No, I don't think so. Every year they hold such a PC to tarnish the league. Yeah. Is the league really rigged? If yes, why is Bengal let East Bengal play? The third question is an interesting one, because if the league was rigged, yeah, there's no logic to it. So to me, yeah, East Bengal has come in, and this is also another point, which I find very funny, right? Where you're saying, oh, we are still a club and we have an investor and Pon Bagan is a merged entity. And their fans say, yes, you are a merged entity. But you were smart. in merging into what was Atletico de Kolkata, because that was a running ISL system. East Bengal has not understood that the ISL is different than what you were playing in the or in the CFL. Indian football has moved on, and East Bengal doesn't want to, understand that. If relegation at some stage comes in, East Bengal will have to fight for survival, right? And that is something which I don't want to see. Both Inter-Kashi and Churchill brothers, now will be facing Gokulam Kerala. Both Gokulam Kerala and Nandari has not conceded a goal for last 4 matches. Yeah, Football India, the I-Leagues, seems to amaze. To me, the I-League in Indian football. So, yeah, that's the reality. If 5 clubs united won't play, I will be in soup. Shumit, who will not play? Right? This referee criticism comes from certain coaches. To deflect. A lot of coaches are deflecting. Referees are making mistakes. Don't get me wrong on that. But 5 clubs, nobody will join East Bengal in that protest. Even that Punjab FC, I've worked for Punjab FC, so for Round Glass Punjab, right? I said that letter is a joke. Ask your coach the question, what did he say that he got sent off straight? Deflection. What could realistically be the refereeing standard in the country ranked 126th without VAR? East Bengal didn't protest by refereeing on. They have claimed referees backs a certain club. That's the problem. That is the bigger problem, right? And to me, it's very, very super giant have been able to build a robust network, a robust system over the last now 11th year in the ISL, and that system works. And they're the highest spenders. Good foreigners, right? And some Indians who on their day can help, or on other days, rather keep them outside. If they will rethink before renew the contract with the AIFF. Yeah, Shumat, they will have to, because Indian football hasn't developed. And the entry of the Kolkata clubs has not really given the boost that everyone was talking about. That's the other thing, right? And this is something that all the clubs have to accept. The Kolkata clubs don't have they claim to have. They don't. There is this bubble in Kolkata, which includes the IFA, which includes all these, channels who used to be on television, who've now shifted to social media and to YouTube and the Twitter and the YouTube world. That's it. There aren't the crores of fans that people talk about. This also has to be a realization for the Kolkata clubs, right? Can you talk? This will be curious, by the way, sir, your opinion on FC Goa drawing 2 in a row. What is the problem according to you? See, Blue, consistency. We come back. FC Goa was the better team today. Take the lead, of course, contentious, but they still took the lead. But they can't hold on. That's their problem. And that is what is the difference between Mohun Bagan and all other teams. Mohun Bagan had a terrible start. They were conceding 2 goals in the Durand and the and then they sorted out their defense. Tom Aldred and Alberto Rodriguez, exceptional. That's the small difference. And even with O'Day and Sandesh, they do concede. And that pass from Ajay to Jitin, that's world class. That through ball is just. If East Bengal was saying the truth, what credibility FSDL and AIFF has to run the best league in the country? Either they stop East Bengal from doing this propaganda or accept and stop the league. Shambam, I think sometimes they will say, you know what, when people want to shout out and bark, let them bark. I agree to your point in the video. I think it's time for them to hand out punishments. I would say that. Poor network, what is a problem at my end? I don't know if others are facing problems. To me, though, today at least it seems to be okay. All suffered due to the corrupt legacy officials who are basically allied to political parties. In fact, Moman actually did a good thing with merging. Otherwise, they would be in a similar mess as East Bengal Mohammedan Sporting. Exactly, Zorawar. I think that is the big point. That when the opportunity arose to try and tie up with Mr. Goenka, that was the best decision that they could take, because they merged into a working ISL entity, right? Mohammedan Sporting today supposedly didn't train because the players are not getting salaries. It sounds like 80s stuff. East Bengal is behaving like they're 40, 50 years behind, right? So that is the problem. One thing I like about your clarity, Ashish. Also, can a club playing ISL breaking a rule to sign Anwar do such a BC and get away? What's more toxic for a growing league? Sampan, I think that's my biggest concern, that the whole Anwar Ali case is just embarrassing. Again, we want to talk about VR. Let's not get into VR, you know? And that case is a very simple case, right? So therefore, the AIFF is weak, I think we don't need to discuss that. Yes, the AIFF is weak, but these clubs are not as strong as they claim to be and have the backing, this and that. And if the sports ministry wants to intervene, want the sports ministry to intervene, because then we get suspended again. Very simple. And then I'd like to hear what East Bengal is how East Bengal is gonna defend itself from getting Indian football suspended by FIFA. That is then the next question, right? Ranjit Bajaj has done it already once. East Bengal would just join the club that Ranjit has left behind. Sorry, where am I? There am I. Why did a former owner Sachin Tendulkar leave the club? Because of lack of profit? Is the current match holding here without profit? Sachin was there as a brand ambassador, was given a small little stake, then he exited because I think he didn't. So, yeah, and the current management is there without profits. Yes, of course. They're losing money. This is another thing. No one makes money in the ISL. Even if people are putting out those reports are rubbish. Sorry to say. People are losing money in football, in Indian club football. And therefore, that's a reality, right? If you want to listen to that, it's nice. But that's the reality of where Indian football stands at this moment, where we are at this moment, right? So as you think only Mohun Bagan given players and we all how they perform AFC. Sumit, I'm not saying that Mohun Bagan is given players. Where am I saying that? You don't understand the basics. Sorry, my friend. Sorry. East Bengal and Mohun Bagan, Mohammedan are part of a problem, all of them. They're not part of a solution. I'm not defending any one of these three entities. Right? Have East Bengal, Mohun Bagan, and Mohammedan created over the last 100+ years a proper system of youth football and grassroots? And it's not a new thing which has come up yesterday. What did they do in the past? They used to go to smaller teams in this. India, Tata Football Academy used to produce players every 2 years. These clubs only care about their first team and nothing else. They don't care about the whole system. This whole talk and all that was BS. If East Bengal and Mohun Bagan were proper entities, they would have moved out of the Maidan 20, 30 years ago and built somewhere else. You know? So this is the reality. Do you think in today's Indian football scenario, right means right, wrong means wrong? You have courage. Murali, wrong is right. It's not in. That's the problem. Binu George literally picks players from Kerala leagues and Thanza Trophy squads. They're doing absolute zero in youth development. Just 2 days back, the U15 lost to Mohun Bagan. So Ravar, they're in the same boat, right? And Bengal football is in the dumps. Have never bothered about development. Even those who talk about development in Kolkata, how many good quality players have they produced over the last 10 years? The good ones who've been there over the last 10 years are actually products of the AIFF. The so-called AIFF, the much criticized AIFF. Pritham Kotal, Prabir Das, all these guys, Rahim Ali, all of them have come through the AIFF system, right? Through the AIFF academy or through the Indian Arrows. So can FSL set up something similar? Teams have to share their financial data with FSL. So, but they are doing that, but they're not being honest, and no one is scrutinizing it properly. There is a problem in the whole system. It's not, you know. The Kerala minister who said he'll bring Messi said he to motivate young players. This is the story of Indian football. Offer people use and throw the fans. Yeah. And he put out dates at the end of October, early November, where there are no FIFA dates. So is Messi actually coming to play, or is he just coming for a visit? I don't. He's playing in America at the time the MLS is on. So I don't even know if the minister is actually saying the truth or not. This is the level of lying in India. What's your opinion of this FVS assisting system which was talked? They are not working. FVS is not being cleared by FIFA. So it's, yeah, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. To me, VR is not implementable in India because no one is willing to pay it. And therefore, we are where we are. So therefore, FVS or assistant video, blah, blah, system. There are 3 or 4 systems that people talk about. Not happening at the moment. Now, if you question East Bengal, their fans will defend it. According to East Bengal, fans won't insult their mother, blah, blah, not even noticing the state of their club. So now, some of the biggest entities here in Japan are merged entities. My home club, FC Goa, merged in 1990. FC Cologne, merged in 1949. Most of these clubs have, they've had local clubs which became then the city clubs or regional clubs, and then they merged together. Bagan sold or merged, that's fine, but East Bengal did not yet, according to ISO website and FO website. The registered address is Imami House. Why? Who changed their address without selling? Sambam, the entity which runs East Bengal FC, we're not talking about East Bengal Club FC, is actually an entity which is called Imami East Bengal FC, and their registered corporate offices are with Imami, right? So the same thing can be said about Mohammedan Sporting with Bunker Hill and Shachi being involved. The world has moved on. Money there is no individual who say, you know what, I will put 50, 70, 100 crores behind these clubs. They aren't those. They will look at some sort of advantage, and these clubs cannot provide you that advantage, whatever people say. That sign is it. It is, we think, when someone felt injustice to them. Embarrassing. I would have said, yeah, the multiple instances where I would have said around the world, in instances you could have walked out, but you don't. Even if you have that urge, right? Would you change your business or institution address if you haven't sold? Makes what sense? I can accept from one that they did sell, but this is going to make you toxic. Yeah, Salman, very, very right. When Jitin scored, my father, who hasn't watched a single game of football, got up and started punching air. I think he was excited. Aram, that was a very, very good quality goal scored by Northeast United. And it shows what kind of a talent Aladdin Ajare is. That pass, that through ball is world class. Not saying it's the reason, but Mohamed Zubair did perform well since the AFC fiasco where they dropped out. Roshan, I don't think it has anything to do with that. Molina sorted his team out and started playing in a certain way. And playing those 2 foreign centre-backs was that thing. So I've always thought Kolkata clubs have done more harm than good for Indian football. Sorry to say that. I say this as a Bengali. I say this also as someone who from family links actually supports these Bengal. Kolkata people literally live in past glories. They still boast about past glories in national football. Just look at this. Chief Minister still celebrates, which is basically a fourth-tier competition. So, Ravar, there has been a huge fight in Kolkata after Shenishoff, as Mohammedan sporting coach, said, is here, I-League is here, Santosh Trophy is like somewhere way down. And these old generation footballers are defending, oh, Santosh Trophy, oh, you should give him a chance. And which shows these, these, I don't want to use the word, these dumb Fs, the problem is that they don't want to accept reality. They are celebrating. The IFA is important is to survive, right? For them, winning the Santosh Trophy gives them some justice. Hey, you know what? We're doing something in Bengal. That you're playing to, and you're not developing anyone doesn't matter. That is the problem. The Santosh Trophy is an amateur tournament, even for Indian standards. And Ruby Hansda going to an ISL team is a joke. It's a PR story. And Chernyshев was very honest because you will not be the best coach in the world, but he has a certain understanding. Why Tata produce quality player compared to today's academy? Because the coaches were good. Ranjan Chaudhary, now the coach of the Gokulam Kerala women's team. Ranjan Da has produced over 200 senior and junior international footballers. Correction, Rahim Ali and Deepak Tangri were scouted from Mohun Bagan Academy. Yeah, but Zurawa, they were scouted from those academies. But how far would they have gone at Mohun Bagan? Okay, they've been scouted from Mohun, great. But it is at least some credit for the work that they've done. Right? Forget VAR. Hyderabad last year not able to pay salary. Now Mohammedan player boycotting practice. Shashantan, we've got multiple teams in the I-League who've had that problem even or have that problem even now. So we are there. So great, we are, if I don't know, that's the thing. To me, it's a big problem at the moment. But again, who wants to accept those problems and wants to rectify the problems? Even Mohun Bagan is a separate entity from Mohun Bagan. Yes, Mohun Bagan Athletic Club is a different entity than Mohun Bagan Supergiant. That sounds very, very true, right? Mohun Bagan Supergiant is a joint entity between Mohun Bagan AC and RPSG Sports. ISL club shown that good youth football and grassroots. Yes, I can understand when club lack money, but club like Mohun Bagan not doing unacceptable. Yeah, Murali, the problem is not them; it's the whole system, right? They are not spending the money right when it comes to grassroots and youth football. And if you talk to people, I mean, I've worked in the system, they'll tell you, "Arey, theek to ho raha hai. Kya problem hai?" Well, now the Kolkata clubs has always been the main pillar for which even football is alive in India. Otherwise, if this type of old club did not remain, football might have ceased to exist in India. And Shivam, this is exactly the big mistake that you're making. No, I don't believe that. And I've said that 25 years ago. I was talking to someone the other day. Sitting in Kolkata, I said that 25 years ago, I was sitting on the Maidans at the Calcutta Sports Journalist Club, and then later on in the press club. I said in 2000, the young me, I didn't have the experience that I have today. Looking at the three entities, they are not willing to evolve. They are not willing to move into modern day football. These clubs have harmed Indian football more than they've helped. Bengal has harmed. Listen, they're celebrating because they record Santosh Trophy champions. Right? In most of the years, most of the top players, you didn't have the homegrown rule like you have it today. I remember when Sepp Blatter in 2007 went to Kolkata, right? And the then secretary and president of Mohun Bagan, and we were all happy. And Mr. Blatter and said at the time, wow, now I know what these clubs are. Over 100 or close to 100 years old. I think I've come to a museum. He told me that. Right? Potential these clubs have had is massive. But if you look at where these clubs stand, and if I look at my friends, families, who have been football fans, who watch football, who like football, that is the problem. That is the problem which you're wondering. Prediction for Mohammedan Sporting versus Chennai FC. Blue, let's see. Mohammedan Sporting, are they going to play tomorrow? As you ask, there was some protest by the players, right? Because of salaries at Mohammedan Sporting. Normally, I would say after the last few results, advantage most probably to me, Mohammedan Sporting. Yeah, let's see. Stop living in the Lulu. Yeah, but that's the problem, right? It's a tendency of Bengalis to glorify a lot of things which one should rather keep quiet and rather put away in a cupboard. Any instance you felt talking this person who used better create something awareness to football fans? Murad, every day when I talk to people. That is the problem. So, yeah. Is implementing development process difficult, or priority is something else, or anything holding on development? Implementing development is not talk about development. We create visions. We create, I don't know what, blah, blah, blah. So the point here is our priorities are wrong. These people don't care about Indian football. Without Mohun Bagan and East Bengal, Indian football is big zero. Show me. No, it's not. The biggest impact Indian football had, and I was luckily part of it, was in 2014 when the ISL started. The biggest impact Indian football ever had on a global scale. I had at Mumbai City every week, multiple television crews from around the world. And most of these people don't even know, didn't know about East Bengal and Mohun Bagan, and still don't know about East Bengal and Mohun Bagan. If you go around the world, I don't know if you've gone around the world and asked people, do you know this derby, blah, blah. Most people will not know. So the impact of these two clubs could have been huge. But their impact is a big zero. Not a zero. They've harmed Indian football. I will go to that extent. And then please abuse me for that, for saying that. And I say this to friends of mine, of both these clubs, not only them, of all the three Kolkata clubs. They should be at the forefront of the Indian football development, and they have never been. Because they care about themselves, they don't care about it. When the entity becomes bigger than the overall, then we've lost. And that is where we are in today's Indian football world. Yeah, another delusional. The so-called big clubs are deep in losses, right? Of course, Togo. If Mr. Goenka didn't put in his money, Mohun Bagan wouldn't be able to do, if Imami didn't come forward, what will, again, East Bengal officials in the last 5-6 years have gotten rid of Quest, Shrachi, and let's see what happens to Imam in the summer. Right? That's the reality. Even Inter Kashi is being sponsored a Bengal-based company, State of Indian Football without Bengal. Shomo, that again, if Inter Kashi is playing or not doesn't make a difference. Have you ever been to the Northeast and seen what kind of a football culture? Have you gone to Kerala and seen what kind of football culture they've built? Have you gone to Goa? Even in a place like Mumbai where I have worked, where there is a football culture, go to Bangalore. Go out of that Bengal bubble. You know, that legacy and history is nice to have. But if you don't have anything to show for it, then don't come me, come me with all of that. And also today, I've seen what to. How to expect modern day evolution when in the rest part of India, other than certain parts, there is nothing where some individual clubs can do where there is no market. Shivam, so then you say there is no market, right? Then you say, you know what? East Bengal, Mohun Bagan, Mohammedan, with the potential they have, and even their fans. What do the fans? The fans ideally want free tickets. They don't want to spend on merchandise, right? The fans are a key stakeholder. Make money. That's a fact around the world. Fans have come together to fund their clubs, right? So that is a reality, you know. So if I see, for example, how certain clubs have evolved in the ISL over the last 10, 11 years, the Kolkata clubs haven't learned their lessons, right? And they're always going to beg to the government to help and support them. Be playing ISL without the help of the Mamata Banerjee government and the help of Reliance, the so-called hated FSDL. If FSDL wanted, FSDL has been lenient with everyone who has faced trouble over the last 10, 11 years. Pune at the time, when their owners were on the verge of going to jail, Hyderabad last season, they could have thrown out at some stage, they didn't. They waited for East Bengal to come to the ISL. They waited for East Bengal to sort out this thing. They wasted this summer from Mohammedan Sporting to sort themselves out. Which is had to do with Kolkata clubs in common. Yeah, that's the point. The person who has built Inter Kashi is someone who used to work for Mr. Goenka, who set up Atletico de Kolkata. That person is a very good friend of all the key people in these clubs. He didn't do it for the Kolkata clubs. He's built his own club. Show these people how to run it. So, know your facts before talking, guys. That is the point. What I always say is, if you follow news, you can watch all videos. You can watch every tweet. You are scratching at the surfaces of what is the. In this conversation, you will learn more than you will learn in any other thing that you do. Sorry, and will be arrogant about it because it's knowledge and understanding. A journalist will not understand it. The content creator cannot understand these things. Why? You have to be. Even Imam is rumored to be leaving them by the end of this season. Yeah, that's a reality. I know Bihar is a big black hole for football today, but does it have a history? My school in the 80s with huge crowd. Aram, there have been other pockets who we don't even know. Did we know that football has been big in the Northeast before, in the late 80s, the first Manipuri players came around? Did we know about Mizoram before Shiloh Malswang Tulunga came through the tar? Look at where Mizoram is now. City Football Group will shut their shop after 5 unsuccessful seasons, but Mohanbhai will be there forever. It will be generational. Show me who says. City Football Group has had a bigger impact. Mumbai City, I can proudly say, has had a bigger impact in its 10 years of history than all the Kolkata. But you will not understand that because you will not go into the depth of what happens. Mohun Bagan would have come to ISL through promotion just like Mohammedan anyway, even without Goenka. No, Akash. They wouldn't. because Mohun Bagan would have needed someone as a cash cow. This is something you need to understand. Without Mr. Super Giant is a big zero. They would have been in the same mess that East Bengal and Mohammedan find themselves in. This is something which you need to understand. These clubs independently cannot do that. Their owners, Tutu Bose has pushed the club, has pushed Mohun Bagan into the ISL. You know? And instance you felt enough is enough with that glorious past. Morande every day. Because that glorious past is, I have said, the young me in 2006 of PK Banerjee and Chuni Goswami. What is your track record? You guys were great players. You talk about it. In front of Baichung, I said that. We were sitting in England on that first tour where we played Fulham, West Brom, and Bangladesh. What is your track record? You were coaches, managers of Indian football. What have you done? You called superstars and heroes of Indian football. They have destructed Indian football. And East Bengal, Mohun Bagan, Mohammedan are part of that destruction that has happened over generations. But we glorify, oh, you know what? Without them, Indian football doesn't exist. The ISL started without them. You know, that is the problem. But hey, who's going to talk about it? What are the major sources of football clubs? How small club in Germany making? Key sponsorship, merchandise to some extent. Club members pay fees. So I was talking yesterday, as a junior, you play football in a club. You pay either a monthly or a yearly fee. So all of that aggregates. And the higher you get when there is the start of television, there's television revenue. Merchandise are not easily available for fans and the clubs don't promote it. Mohun or East Bengal management doesn't help us. I'm pretty sure people buy it. Akash, the clubs have been selling the original jerseys, right? The fans go and buy the $200, $250 stuff from the Maidan market. What are you talking about? Sorry. Don't defend the indefensible enough. And then they put out merchandise, and you know the merchandise that people don't need. Right? Mugs and cups which are overpriced. The fans are not willing to, you know. Money on average players will be a good start for the Kolkata club. Second would be direct some of their budget towards grassroots. Stober, very well said. The Kolkata clubs are one of the reasons why the salaries are where they are. And it started when they started handing out money to the players. Word influence appraised like football expert and legend in person speaking truth gets him. Yeah, of course. Look at Ranveer Abadia, who made a video about, right? Beer biceps. Talks to Ilkay Gündogan and says, you know what? I need to now push the agenda of Indian football. Right? So what am I going to say? The people who speak the truth, people don't want to listen to them. The people who say what the people want to hear, the people will listen to them. That's our problem at the moment. You're not listening to what needs to be said and done. Mohun Bagan East Bengal will be there forever like a generational snake guarding the path to progress. Harsh, but most probably right. To be honest, sometimes felt like we are in a time machine. If you spend time in Kolkata, everyone is a bubble. Yeah, Blue, very well said. There's a side of Kolkata which I love because I love for example, I love Park Street, right, which is sort of the high street. I love to go to a Flurries to have my afternoon cakes. I love to go to Peter Cat and have food over there. I love to go to the social clubs, be it Tolly, be it CCFC, be it the Bengal Club. Right. I love to go to the Kolkata Maidans to watch it, but it is like you're living 50 or 100 years in the past. If I go to a social club in Kolkata, you don't feel the hustle and bustle of the city around you. Yeah. I'm from Assam, and I think Northeast United FC matches should be from 3 p.m., which will allow fans around 56 kilometers from Guwahati come to watch matches. After 9:30 p.m., no transport are available. Dr. Ranjan, It's a very valid point, but again, the ISL has that slot. I think there's no flexibility with that, and I know that Indian football has been wanting to come away from that, from that 3 o'clock afternoon slot. And the point is that even 5 p.m. matches, which have the numbers haven't been what we talk about. Mohun Bagan, Supergiant, East Bengal is mostly responsible for inflating Indian player market, making it unsustainable for everyone. Yeah, Babalu's animation. Very, very right. Mohun Bagan has been doing it for a while. East Bengal joined the club last year, and this year made it very much. I totally support, but the evolution has to be a total approach. No individual wants to let a club function. They need money. Who's going to give them that? A proper league structure with good revenue. Shivam, elsewhere in the world, clubs have evolved over decades, right? Premier League clubs, the Bundesliga clubs, the La Liga clubs were not what they are today, 50, 70, 100 years ago. If I look at, for example, a club like Bayern Munich, which 60 years ago was actually the smaller team from Munich. 1860 Munich was the bigger team. The late 70s, they had that exceptional generation with Beckenbauer, with Gerd Müller, and all the others. But they've built, and they've rebuilt multiple times. They have even taken loans to build their infrastructure. Now they're a 1 billion plus entity in euros, but they've done the things you need. So that's the reality. Fans should be willing to spend at least to keep some activity alive. Expecting others to do is easy. Roshan, that's the problem. That's how Roshan will know. Roshan is based here in Germany. That's how we keep our football alive. So that's the thing. I heard so many news people who talk through to God Chetan. Have you experienced it? Yeah, but I don't care. Yeah, fine. You get gali. When you say things right, you will get gali. And this is the world today we live in. I have and I will continue to do things which I will be right. In the background, 99.9% of the things that I've done, you will not even know. The one other thing I've told you about, Hi, Abhishek. Man, I would really say the rest of India is getting much more developed in every aspect rather than Bengal. By the way, I'm from Durgapur. Shivam, that could be the reality. But if that is the case, the Northeast is not ahead of Bengal in development. The first time, and there was literally nothing. Their Lamual ground, which is that army ground in the heart of Aizawl, was a barren patch of land on which they used to play football, and then they put an artificial turf on it. So these are the things. As I said, I love that old Kolkata. I love that old Kolkata when I get there. But for our football, it's not the right thing. Our football is stuck in the Maidan. It should be, let's say, it should be in Newtown, which is the new, it's the Gurgaon of Kolkata, let's say. That is where these clubs needed to go. But these officials, with these fans, with these ex-players, with these medias, it is not taking us. You are glorifying. Sorry, it is not working. The Bengali elites, the Bhadraloks, are the majority of that mindset. People are more grounded about the realities. I wouldn't even blame the Bhadraloks. The Bhadraloks or the Bhadralok as such, way. I know people who've not moved out of Kolkata because they like that slow lifestyle. They say that. I'll earn a little less, but enjoy my life. That's the reality. How important? Because I had some state FFA to use CSR. CSR is not the West way. You have to create that money. Dashing East Bengal Mumbai will result nothing. The entire football system is responsible for inflating players. Well, every single I-League and I-League clubs are responsible. Who started it? 30, 40 years ago. Most of these clubs didn't exist. Some have decided to go against it, even if they get relegated. Aizawl FC has strategically said, I'm not doing this. I am playing my players what I think is right. And they've gone now only for Mizo players. I'm not willing to come for that low salaries. These two clubs started the paying players in crores. Not even them, it was United Sports. Nawab Bhattacharya talks about player development and all stuff. When he had money, when at Prague United supporting them, they were throwing money at the players. First club to pay in crores. So it's not only East Bengal, Mohun Bagan, it's the whole bloody Bengal system, which is a problem. And they sell themselves like, we know these solutions. If you know the solutions, what have you done in the last 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 years? You don't. Either be or get out of the way. Very simple. Pagan holds the cricket and other sports to their own, and they have merged their football just like East Bengal or Mohammedan. Yet in East Bengal, for it goes to press crying out license. How many more licenses? That press conference. No one's going to do that. What are the questions would like to ask someone who says, I am the savior of Indian football, I've done this? I ask a question. If they are the saviors of Indian football, where are we? Which football was as great as people want to sell it to us? We should be somewhere else in the world, right? We are where we are, you know? People are not ready to pay penny to watch a football match, rather they would search for pirate streams. Exactly. Look at the whole discussion about SSEN wanting to charge 99 rupees for a season. Welcome to the world of Indian football. How are people are gonna, and then clubs are saying, listen, they should be sharing. I mean, this is another joke. They should be sharing the money with us that they're making. And like, where are they making money? So people who are running, yeah. So that's the problem. We have too many people who not even live in Delulu land, who live in a land which I don't know what to call. Indian football is full of incompetence. And it starts at the top and it goes because the fans believe all this bullshit. All the crap. Oh, we're this, we're that. No, you're not. After Saturday, no East Bengal Mohun fan needs to come to me. It just proves the point. These clubs are not as big as they're sold. I personally believe 30 years of superior complex. I don't think so, sir. I think it was there in Kolkata circles. It was always there. I think actually what it did, what I felt towards the end of communism and also Mamata Banerjee is that they tried to even it out, level it out, and that's made matters worse. A little bit of an elitist structure in a country like India is not bad, right? But who's going to talk about that? This whole local language thing is BS. You know, I'm to speak proper English these days. It's a joke. It is. Where to start, where to end. How do you rate Gokulam Kerala? Former I-League champions. They've won the IWL. One club which is committed to both men's and women's football. And yeah. But they've not been doing what they've done in the past well. A list of clubs that have had a merger: Bury FC, Stoke City, Luton Town, Ipswich Town, Newcastle United, Watford, Queen's Park Rangers, and Arampur. IIFF should be first named BFA and CFL should be rebranded as BFL and should promote non-Kolkata clubs because lack of local clubs. Cape Foot was the only option. IIFF is a mess. But Akash, they will not. Again, this is also not going to happen because for them, football is Kolkata football and a little bit of house. Goenka has money, he so dreams of a great Asian club. Why doesn't he build a facility, say, in Newton? But also, why would he play a league, win it, lost money, and then be called thieves in open PC? Yeah. How do you see blame? That's that is deflection. That's part of our problem of our system in Indian football, which is very, very dangerous. Just realizing already 1 hour and 20 minutes on this Tuesday evening. Sorry, got a little angry, emotional about things because at some stage you can't these days. One has to call it, BS has to be called out and whatever. If you want to say things about me, please do go ahead about me. I don't really care. I know that I'm right. And, if you like the video, do leave a like behind. People join our conversations. 14 people have liked it so far. Let them join our conversations. I try to be as honest as possible. And I said there are certain things most probably I might be wrong also, right? But on a lot of things I will be right because it is just not that I speak for the sake of speaking. I speak. And this is, for me, that's the biggest problem. Knowledge and experience is what we lack in Indian football. Players' inflated value is all about commission cut money for agents and the club officials who don't have any other living other than from the club's unfurled Zahar. Yeah, Shuman, that is another Pandora's box. The financial institution carry the name sticks out as a sore thumb. Could use a name change like controversy if they want to match the popularity of Karabasasi. Babalu's animation, if they ever get promoted, they will have to do it. So let's wait and see what happens to Bukham Canada. Mohan Supergiant, he doesn't take part in team selection. Main issue with Mohan Supergiant is Vinay Chopra, who is the technical director. If I were Goenka, I would have sacked him years back. Any update of Vijay Chetri, who's in Uruguay? Rishabh, he's come back. He's no longer in Uruguay. After Delulu is shit, so but I think they've gone even further. Sorry. Aram. People say playing seven-a-side should be banned. It should not be considered professional football. Right? It's not professional football. First point. Seven-a-sides or even Cape football, whatever it is, five-a-side, seven-a-side is small-sided games, whatever it is. They earn a living. So therefore, that's real. Why should anyone worry about merger? Monwa Supergiant is having the same jersey in August McDowell, Monbagan. Yeah, but what does I don't know why the Mohun fans should be happy that they are where they are. Without the money of Mr. Goenka, they would be nowhere near where they are. I think that is something that the gentleman needs respect. This whole remove 80K thing was, in my opinion, was a disgrace and still is a disgrace. But hey, well, Indian power-hungry politicians go to an extent to win elections. Language is just another of their means. Yeah, Zoravar, very, 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 very right and very, very disturbing that, this regionalism or this whole thing, talking in Hindi and all that kind of stuff. To me, if you, in an international world, if you want to, it is about English, right? And I realize that when I see, the reach that I have and other people talking Hindi, talking Bengali, talking Malayalam, talking in Tamil, yeah, are you having real conversations in those languages? I don't think so. How was his stint? Rushabh, he's learned a lot in those at Cologne, FC in Uruguay. He played a few minutes. If I understand, he would have liked to have stayed, but he's going back to now or gone back to Chennai FC. So let's see what happens. He's learned a lot, but is he ready for ISL football? We'll have to wait and see. Is it possible that FCL could take action against East Bengal as the letter to sportsmen contained some serious allegations against FSDL? Yes, they could. Not only FSDL, I think even AIFF. That's the reality. Zoravar replies to Football India. East Bengal fans are more concerned about the merger. Even Yudhistaka just mocked Mohun Bagan merger a few days back. Mohun Bagan fans, to be honest, the majority are happy at the moment. I mean, won the league shield last season. So East Bengal is nowhere near. That's the real shame. That should be the conversation, right? If that is not the topic, then what are we talking about, right? That now these Bengali news channels are defending the Santosh Trophy triumph because Chernyshov has said what any, I don't know what to say. Very different, in my opinion. Are you planning to do interviews on the channel? Yes, Roshan, but again, trying to coordinate time. Again, this is fun. This is my free time, so to say. So sometimes my work and other match. Or yes, I have spoken to a few people about interviews, some interesting interviews, but let's see if I can actually do them or not. Let's see. I'm working on them. Let's put it this way: work in progress. Right. As a neutral view, that Apuya handball was a penalty. I've spoken to refs, and now I thought also I would have said penalty, but I've now heard it from multiple times. You know, that refs here in Europe say they don't see it as a penalty. So, years will come when Diamond Harbour come to ISL. Let's see if the ISL is still there when Diamond Harbour wants to come to the ISL. East Bengal officials are diverting attention from their failure to include adequate reinforcement in November, January when the team needed. Shumadri, they've spent all their money in the summer and the rest was spent on Anwar Ali. Right? The circus now, yeah. Shum, but that's Bengal football for you. They won't, don't worry. East Bengal manager is doing these in order to divert fan attention from their performance. Yeah. And that the fans don't ask questions of the officials. That's the real thing. That's the real problem that we should be talking about. Is that a club of the stature of East Bengal has been the laughing stock of Indian football. So that's something which I find very dangerous, right, these days. I get it. Without Mr. Goenka, Mohamed could have been worse, but a club is nothing without fans. So you got to listen to them sometimes. Not saying hear out everything, but things like name it can be disrespectful, in my opinion. I don't agree on that, Rishabh. And I'll tell you why. Because if in an Indian football context are a key component, then for example, let's shift for once from Kolkata. Let's go to Goa. Dempo, Salgaonkar, Sporting Club, Churchill have never had the kind of fan support that FC Goa have had. Whatever they say, I have been to an opening match of the with Salgaonkar playing. 9 paying spectators, 9 at the Fatorta, right? So this story also about the fans, about the millions or crores of fans. It's a nice thing. It's a social media thing. And it is like with everything else in today's world, those who shout the loudest, people think that is the view that the rest of the people have. That's not the case. Mr. Goenka does not get the respect that he should have gotten, right? And if he stayed, other people would have gone in this whole ATK movement. This is something that also the Mohun Bagan fans don't want to agree to. Missed my question. I missed your question. I'm not seeing your question. Could you ask it again? They spent 30 crore plus on Anwar. Yeah, Zoravar. What to say? By the way, I had a question. East Bengal said that Mr. Goenka first approached East Bengal, they rejected Goenka, then he agreed to merge with Mohun Bagan and started a joint venture, ATK Mohun Bagan and Mohun Supergiant. Blue, there wasn't a first or a second. Both of the clubs were talking to Mr. Goenka at the same time. Yeah. So East Bengal rejected it. I would say smartly realized, listen, they have a system, they're putting in money, let's do this. So if you ask me who was smarter in this, who has the bragging rights, I think very, very clearly we know who has. All the scandalous talk, like a real scandal in your for where something was definitely fishy. Aram, age fraud. Age fraud is happening left, right, and center. You know? Yeah. That's we've had now a few of these sex scandals. Nothing has come out of them. You know? So yeah. Mismanagement, of course, as well. I like Mohun Bagan Supergiant and ATK Mohun. ATK didn't have a proper abbreviation. Atletico de Kolkata. Today's press conference and earlier Q and cry about referees just a diversionary tactics from the core issue. I don't think that club is doing itself any good with such management. No, you're spot on. I couldn't have said it better. That's the discuss this and who's going to raise it internally at East Bengal and who can ensure that East Bengal is a better, stronger entity to move into the future. That's the real question here. What should be the first thing should be done from here to steer the sinking ship of Indian football? Right leadership. Right leadership who have the power to even take some tough calls and tough decisions. That's what is needed. So that's the reality. Yeah, I heard this news about the merger of Mohun Bagan. It's true. Yeah, Zuraba, there were talks with both entities. And there were also talk that Mr. Goenka considered of going it alone. So clubs you gave as example are soulless. Sure, Goenka should be respected, but when you merge ATK and Mohun, which doesn't even make sense in the first place. Mergers, Rushabh, what is the sense of making a merger? Cases, if you will see merged football club entities around the world, you'll have on one side the big entity which has something and a small entity, and then you merge them. So again, this is yeah, that's the reality, right? Till more players finish bottom of the table for 7 out of the next 10 season, then see how many fans will be left. Got to appreciate KFC for that. Bablu's animation, that's again also glorifying the blaster system. And I think, the first got up match in the mid-90s is the one of the first I remember. Yeah, no, wasn't there one which involved Dembo where they scored 14 goals against Air India or something? There was some, but again, let's focus on the others. Goenka is clever. He made a Mohun Bagan a part of Supergiant's family. Any fans protest. ATK did not held any significance then. Atletico Madrid relation. That's a very valid point, Football India. Very, very valid point. Which I've, you are now as the Mohun Bagan supergiant, the small sister of Lucknow supergiants. I think a lot of people have not thought about this. Just one second, let me just get up something. That is something that nobody has thought about, right? Actually, even I, didn't realize that point, which very, very true. Very, very well said, that ATK Mohun Bagan, right? Because it contains ATK, which sort of shows the merged entity or the survival of the merged entity. But on the other side, you're now part as a franchise. You're part of a franchise, a much bigger entity. If all the IPL entities are much bigger than any of our football clubs, right? Even though they're much younger. But this is a very point. And this is something, which I didn't think about. And this actually, genuine football fan, to me, that would be a bigger problem of being called Mohun Bagan Supergiant than rather being called ATK Mohun Bagan. But hey, Atletico de Kolkata is copyrighted by Atletico Madrid. Reason why they. That's one of the reasons said, but I think they also wanted to, after the cooperation ended after season 3, Monica wanted to move away from the Atletico name, and that was one of the reasons why they to keep the color combo and the feel and all, and therefore they moved to that's it. I've been following Indian football since 1990, but haven't seen such a sorry state of AIFF Indian football. Yeah, would agree, Shamadri. I've been following it closely since 97, 98. Never as bad as they are now. And you would have thought, if we're talking about 96, remember the start of the NFL, we're nearly 30 years down the road. ATK lost their identity right when Atletico pulled out. Sure, because they couldn't use the name, but merging it and then renaming it to your owner, in my opinion. No, it doesn't. It's a masterstroke of Mr. Goenka. Rushabh, that's why he's a rich business guy and you and I aren't. That's for him. It's clever. If Mohammed, but after removing ATK, yeah, you're very, very right. Very, very right. Football India, very valid point. Now, the louder people bark, the more attention. Other side, people who do things right do not do enough promotion. Roshan, 100%. And that was always, see, like you, I'm born and brought up. We always say that my work should speak for me, right? My quality of work should speak for me. Right? And that is something which I realize in an Indian context. Why do I do this? Because, again, I want to speak and I want to interact with people. I have and think about what we need to do. ATK is one case now, no topic of discussion anymore. Sure, it is a discussion because it is interlinked to the identity of the clubs. Mohun Bagan people will say, oh, you know what, removed it, great. But you've now actually become the entity. Didn't think about it. Good night, sir. Too much BS. Yeah, sometimes we have to deal with this. I hope tomorrow, so that's something. Mohammed Churchill, some Goan club coach, Amulata was sacked. Yeah, what it can do was seen at Gabon Youth and girls. Only 10 girls could pass it visa versus the rest failed ages. Roshan, Nigeria, the whole squad once failed. 23 players plus the 3 reserves. You got to mention Durban Supergiant from South Africa. Then why are you doing this Controversy again. Already there are multiple channels doing that. What am I doing? I'm just discussing things that are being thrown at me. I've said this. I said it even on, when I used to go to Indian food and football. I used to say it on Shahin's channel. And, East Bengal Mohman fans don't like it. I said it in Bengali. So what am I doing? You don't want to hear the truth? Very nice. Right? That's the problem. Right? If you like it or not, these are the reality. On a national level, I don't see proper communication from the AIFF on several issues for the public. It would seem like sitting on the problems. What should FSDL has taken this, and this is as a corporate. So this is not a football specific thing. If you do criticism on on any of their businesses, or even on let's say on Rise or on Mumbai Indians, they will not react. On the AIFF, I agree with you, but the question is if the AIFF should be yesterday. And even though I would say it's good that they've come out and did a press conference on the refereeing. You see, so let's see. Is Mohun Bagan renamed similar to what Red Bull did to RB Salzburg and RB Leipzig? Leipzig is different because it was SSV Markranstadt, and that's different. But yeah, I think it was Austria Salzburg to Red Bull Salzburg. I think that is similar. Yeah, that could. And now for when these two clubs play in the same competition, they're called FC Salzburg. So it could be similar. Bangladesh was India and Shillong. Bangladesh Football Federation Vice President confirmed reports from Bangladesh media. Interesting, Blue. Because is that? I hope the AIFF is not embarrassed and the Shillong Stadium is not. That would be my concern. Let's see. When is the contract expiring for FSDL and AIFF? December of this year. So we're in Jan. The contract runs out at the end on the 31st of December of this year. People are reporting that talks are going on, but from my sources, I've heard there are no talks going on. I don't know what people are reporting at the moment. As far as I know, no talks. Shillong crowd will eat Bangladeshis alive if they try something fishy. That's why I think from a security standpoint also, I don't think Shillong would be a good option. But hey, who am I? FSDL extends contract of ISL, otherwise worst days are ahead. Yeah, Robert, very well said. That's my real concern. If you ask me, I don't know. It was before Goenka as well. Mohun Bagan played with name McDowell, Mohun Bagan, East Bengal, Kingfisher, East Bengal. And also multiple evidence of it. I still don't know what are you trying to say, Chomo. Be clearer. What did I steer up? Still haven't understood that. Is there U20 match coming for national team this month? Bablu's animation. I've heard that India is supposed to travel to Indonesia. Trials are supposed to end today. 58 players have been called up, so let's see what happens with that. So yeah, supposedly next week they're supposed to head to Indonesia. There are to me that's why I said I would not play Bangladesh given the current political climate anywhere close to the border. That's why I would say India Bangladesh should be played in Kolkata. This all exchange this kind of a South Asian football derby, but given the current circumstances, I would take it somewhere in the south or the west. I-League 2 update. Abhishek, they've announced the 9 participating clubs. Did a show about it a few weeks ago, but dates, I think Feb. Who is the U20 coach? Zoravar, as far as I know, I think Dempsey assistant coach Remus Gomes was leading the trials, but I'm not sure who is the head coach. Will Kolkata be the venue? No, Rishabh, Kolkata at the moment is not being considered. Talk about Shillong hosting both the matches against the Maldives and against Bangladesh, and yeah, and therefore let's wait and see. As I said, that would be my first question. I hope the AIFF does that homework on that. And secondly, is Meghalaya is too close to the Bangladesh border? I don't know. And small stadium. Let's see. I want to see the Indian women's futsal team play. Just curious about the standard. Yeah. To see history set to be made. Kolkata is too near to Bangladesh. Abhishek, it's less than 100 kilometers away. So yes, it's very, very close to the Bangladesh border, if you ask me. So, and again, there are sentiments, Bengali sentiments as well. So from that perspective, I think it's Kolkata. So therefore, otherwise, Kolkata is the best place to play India versus Bangladesh. But in this scenario, I would say not the right thing to do at the moment. Let's put it this way. Do you think Bibiana is the best youth coach in last decade? Yeah, most probably. I would think so. 1 hour 46 minutes, still 21 people watching. Thanks a lot for that. As always, if you haven't, do you like what you're seeing, do leave a like behind. 16 trying to grow the community, 2,151 still at the moment. So thanks a lot. And yeah, and watch the other videos. As I said earlier today, the AIFF referees under fire is a video that I did earlier today. Yesterday did something on why are Indian footballers so inconsistent. The derby, India needing to embrace players of Indian origin and other things as well. A week ago, I did that story about why does Ranveer Alabaria belittle Indian football, and he's done that now a few times in the sense of saying, hey, you know what, you content creators like me need to push Indian football. It's like, what, just by talking about it? It's a joke. Hi, Manolo, welcome back. Under him, India qualified for your AFC U17 championship. Yeah, Zara, but he also had better player material available. Huh? So you should not forget that. To me, that is something which one has to remember. So therefore, let's wait and see. Sal, Brandon, out of form, who will be your number 10 in March? Manolo, no one, because I'm not going to discuss it now. I will look at, because it's a thing to look at the end of Feb, early March. I thought Brandon was decent against East Bengal in that first half before he got injured. Brandon still has injury problems. Sal is you will not be able to put in a system. And the question is, against East Bengal, I liked even Chante as a number. Jamshedpur, yes, he did create this and that, but yeah, it will be interesting to see how you put that puzzle together. Do you think Indian players need to stay humble? Jitin scored today and celebrate like he won the ISL. I mean, consistency is not there. Manolo, let him celebrate. I think Jitin has had some tough weeks. And let him celebrate. Again, yes, you might say it's over the top, but let him celebrate. Let him enjoy this moment. It was an important goal for him. It was an important goal for Northeast United. And let's see where they end up. On Trevor Kettle, is he good as a hero forever after all the worst refereeing he has done? Manolo, there are two sides to it. Trevor Kettle on the field, yeah. That's better. But as a chief referee officer, that's something else. And spoken to him a couple of times. He knows the rules, right? That was my feeling. And our ref can learn from someone like him, right? And therefore, that what he was doing as a ref on the field and what he can teach our refs are two different pairs of shoes. So, to me, he's defending the ref. because that is his job. That's the job of the AIFF. You have to say, listen, they're doing mistakes. And I mean, I even liked Anil Kumar's statement because that's the same thing. What I say is that in Europe, even with VR, they're making mistakes. And people are trolling him for that. So that's the problem. These trolls, these people who think they understand everything, don't have a clue of what to run football in an Indian context is difficult. The AIFF is not making its life easier. But the refereeing, we are at a lower level. It's not perfect. But I can even go and show if I want to be that petty about this. If East Bengal is talking about that, right? Then I'll go and show them a match, let's say, against Mumbai City. Vikram's goal wasn't offside. Another foul on Bipin in the second half, not given. So therefore, if I want to, I can always pull out those things. And again, how many things are right or wrong? It doesn't make sense. Right? Punjab FC's letter is embarrassing. Right? So what am I talking about? But Brandon for national team plays good. What do you think? He's been better for the national team, yes. But with Brandon is the fitness issue is there. This is the biggest problem at the moment. What I'm saying, having prefix or suffix before club is there from I-League days. No, it wasn't, because it's something different. That prefix and suffix, what you're talking about is, and it was not I-League days, it was there from the NFL, pre-NFL days. That was a sponsor's name. A Kingfisher East Bengal or a McDowell's Mohun Bagan is different than an ETK Mohun Bagan or a Mohun Bagan Supergiant. That is the simple thing. It's totally different, right? I mean, Mohammedan declined the money of the UB group in those days because they club entities. Sorry, we will not take money as a club entity from a sponsor who is an alcohol producer. Khalid Jamil didn't join East Bengal Mohun Bagan at the time because he said, you know what, I don't support that. So these are. Do you think Brandon would have done better if he had stayed abroad rather than coming to India? See, he was in South Africa. And I'm not sure if in South Africa people wanted to keep him when he came back to India. So, and he had opportunities of trials. About what he was trying to help him with. His father, the late Jaju Fernandez, also tried a lot, but didn't work out. Right, and that Leicester City trial is hyped up because Leicester City could have never taken him on board at the time. Do we have a proper striker for the men's national team? Zorawa's answer in big letters is the answer, So that's that, and no, we don't. It is for me. Irfan Yadwat, Rahim Ali, Farooq Chaudhary, and Manveer. It's amongst these four at the moment, I would say. East Bengal officials said they will go to Sports Ministry for ISL refereeing. Manolo, we discussed this, I don't know for how long today. To me, sadly, this whole thing has become a joke. Where these people, I mean, seriously, they should be seeing such. That's my only thing that I can say. Right? As I said, you want to talk about these things, we can talk about every game and then we'll rip it apart. And we can take apart every game around the world, and you'll see the referees does 2, 3, 4, 5 mistakes every game. Some are bigger, some are smaller. Yes, yeah. So yeah. Even the first derby was Mohun Bagan. East Bengal would have lost the 4-0 if Mohun Bagan were given the penalties. Yeah, no, don't say it that way, because when we talk about penalties. You assume you're going to score, right? You should never assume that when you get a penalty, you are going to get a goal. Simple, right? So therefore, for me, right, and that first derby, I was there in the stadium. It was to a level of one-sided, which was embarrassing, right? So, yeah. Referees were equally horrible in NFL and I-League days, but there was no noise as East Bengal more benefit from it as big teams. Same things are probably happening now. I don't think so, Shumandra. I think the refereeing has gotten much, much better. Much, much better than we were in the NFL and I-League days. But you're right, East Bengal, besides Mohun, a beneficiary, or are still a beneficiary in the CFL. That's why they're fine with it. Will they? And look at Mohun Bagan questioning the IFF. Mohun Bagan's doing the same thing in Kolkata, right? With the IFA and the CFL, that they're favoring Mohammedan and East Bengal. So this speaks about these. The complaint is getting ridiculous. Just go and work on the team. We should say to them, clock Turtle is looking up. Time is ticking to get back Indian football to be workable on. Well said, Abhishek, but they're not going to do it. Tactics. It's a good question. I would say, yeah. Yeah. I think you should open one X space or Twitter space, as I still like to call it, for this discussion about the merger and all. Then we can discuss with some reference. Sure. You know, yeah, X for me is something which I'm trying to avoid. I use it as a platform, but actually I shouldn't be supporting it with the person running it. So therefore, again, that's a different discussion. Do you think is it their job or do they have qualification to question referees call? They're misguiding people. Shushmit, it's a very valid point, and but it's not about qualifications. A commentator, or rather more than a commentator, the so-called expert or ex-player as an expert, think about it. And the rules have been changing so quickly and swiftly over the last few years that the question remains, if we are in the situation of being able to say, you know what, that's the thing this whole Apuya handball is just showing at the moment. Rahim Ali finds himself in a good position but is unable to provide the finishing touch against Kuwait. He had the best chance of the game. Rushabh, yes, but he's getting, I thought over the last few weeks, even if I look at him yesterday, that interesting trend of attacking wingers, especially right wingers playing as right backs. Look at Rhythm Talang today. Boris as well, to me, is more of an attacking player. But his touch seems to have been better. Finishing, yeah. Right, so, hi, notes to myself. Was the late Shubhi strategy capable of playing abroad? For that, notes to myself, I've not seen enough to be able to make that judgment, to be very honest. Handball assist against Ireland and qualify for the World Cup results did not change. Probably the Irish Prime Minister had issues with Steve as well. Achut, why go back so far? Let's go back to last summer. Kukurea, penalty, Musiala shot, not given. And UEFA 4 months later says, oh, you know what? VR should have given it. Mistakes happen at all levels. Sometimes more, sometimes less. If the referees are better, they do less mistakes. But even with VAR, you're doing that mistake. That is my whole point. They take ex-East Bengal players commentator, no wonder he's biased. See, Zoravar, he will be an ex-player of some sort of BFC or someone who's played in England or other parts of Asia. So these things are part and parcel of the thing. So therefore, that doesn't change. The question is, do they know the rules? Have they worked? In Germany, for example, they do workshops for the commentators and before the season starts, and go through the latest amendments to the rules. And India, it doesn't happen, right? Over 2 hours. This was a long one. Didn't even realize that, but thanks as always into this conversation. Yeah, some controversial stuff that we had to work through today. And again, I'll be calling out things which I think are wrong, and especially in Kolkata, things need to change if we really want to move forward, because otherwise, at the forefront of their development. As I love to say, in Mizoram, they've done much more for football development over the last 15 years than the rest of India. And that is something which needs to be questioned. That's, let's see. Things friendly. I guess Maldives, Nepal, a venue where at least 20K people will be present. But Rushabh, India is playing the Maldives now, ahead of the Bangladesh game. I don't know if you know that, right? And I don't know how the AIFF can ensure people turning up. That is another. I think each individual who calls him or herself an Indian football fan should be making an effort to be there. I've made it around the world. Around the world, whenever I can. Asian Cup, was in the UK, in the Caribbean. In 2001, we 4 or 5 of us decided, India's playing UAE in a World Cup qualifier. Um, you know, and yeah, that's the reality. Do you expect? So, however, I cannot look into the future, sadly. I would love for a golden generation to have been there in the last 20 years. I would hope. That's the thing. But if we don't do the right things, we're not doing the right things. My only hope of having a golden generation is if we start integrating players of Indian origin. That's the only way that system, given the realities of AIFF, FSDL, the clubs system, very difficult. Very, very difficult. So, yeah. I've tweeted today on pay of referee. Please do cover that. We cannot have good referee with such pay and facility. Refs are for football, but are they taken care of well? So that's even a discussion in this part of the world where we would say, we're a developed football world. So therefore, payment of referees is all. I don't think they pay them enough. So yeah, it's a problem. But the question is, where does the money come from? That's the problem, right? I've never been outside Maharashtra. I would gladly travel for the game, but would have to find a group. Rishabh, I would suggest, whenever it is announced where India will play, and post it on your social medias after that, and then maybe you find someone who is traveling from Mumbai to if it's Shillong, or maybe somewhere else. So therefore, maybe East Bengal has decided to go to the Central Ministry for Justice. Would that may cause FIFA to take action on football? Notes to myself. Talked at length about it today. To me, just stupid, and nothing more to add. But again, what have they done for Indian football? So, yeah, if the government steps in, FIFA and AFC are not anyway. I have not seen action. Right, the Supreme Court has been sitting over the new constitution, conform with the rules and regulations of football. So yeah, maybe a ban is maybe the best thing that can happen to us. I don't know. Last time I tried to avoid a ban, but this time I don't know. PI also will improve the system, though Coaching is saying, I'm not sure. POIs, OCIs, there are enough people. Look at myself. I know a lot of people of Indian origin who've tried and come to. Pradyum Reddy, for example, is not born in India. He's born in the UK. So therefore, yes, POIs at multiple levels, on the field, off the field, period. Right. 2 hours and 5 minutes. That was a longer one than expected. Thanks once again for joining in. If you haven't, do like and share Arun Foot here on YouTube. Do watch the shorter videos. Keep supporting, and yeah, let's hope we can what happens and take these last two from Zorawar and Abhishek. A ban will bring national media attention to the corruption happening. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Zorawar, we are alleging corruption. Can anyone prove it to me? That's the problem. We are in the gray zone. Yes, talk about it. Any concern? No, they're not. Nothing on the constitution as well. Supreme Court also not. Bye. Good night, Abhishek. Bye. Good night, everybody else. I'll be back tomorrow with another live. Hopefully, we'll discuss more football. And I'll speak to you.